Hi guys, it's great to be back. It's taking some time for me to be here and to produce this special edition of creating objects using scripting. I hope you enjoy. It's a different type of making objects. This time we won't be using any slab or any of the wiring. We just use coding to produce a very good kind of object that is very parametric. Parametric again means something that you can change its parameters and still retain the shape of that object without distortion. Thank you. Enjoy watching. Let's do this together. Thank you. First of all, I want us to see what we should be having first. One, it's always good to have a plan of what you will need to do. For me, I'm doing a desk that is 1400 by 750. So you need to produce the top view as well as the elevation so that it can guide you. And you need to mark exactly the measurements that we need. Like for a desk, we need the length and the width, and also the sizes of the legs, the offsets. The offsets, I mean the distance between the edge to the exact item that you're creating. And also you need to give the elevation to give the height. In terms of coding, which I need to give you reference for, we shall be using a document that comes with ArchiCAD. This is found under Help, Documentation, GDL Reference Document or Guide, GDL Reference Guide. Now, this is a very huge document. It has about 803 pages. And for you to actually understand everything, you really need to go through all of this. I've taken time to go through some of them, and the most important, and that is what I'll share with you as we make this object. According to this document, if we go back to our ArchiCAD, what we normally call as the length is always referred to as A. What you refer to as the width is called the B, and our height is always referred to as ZZ, Y, ZX. And to confirm this, you need to make sure that you are under, let me close that one so that I can show you. Go to Window, Toolbars, and it's found under Edit GDL Library Paths. For example, if I want to create a new object, and this is the toolbar that we're using, if I want to create a new object, I would click on this new object. Click on it, and it gives you this dialog. And I wanted us to confirm about the A and B. Go to the parameters, and you can see dimension 1, which happens to be our length, is denoted as A. Dimension B, which is our width, is B, and the height is denoted as ZZ, Y, ZX. Now, you need to give names to the other measurements that you have. Like for example, for the offset of this leg from this edge, I've given it leg offset Y. And for the width of this leg, I've given it as leg width. So you need to denote all these things. It makes everything easier when doing your modeling of an object. Now, once you have your top view and the elevation ready, you need to go back now to that same place that I was, which I've already opened here, and start your working. One of the first things that I can do is by saving. So just Control S and look for a place that you can create your things. I want to put put it on desktop, then I create a folder, GDL, click, and give it as a 1400 desk. Create save. Once you do that, you now need to give the exact measurements and these parameters that we have. We've seen from our desk that our A is 1400, our B is 750, our height is ZZYZX is 750. So come here, give these values here, 1400, this is 750, and this is 750. Now, we need to incorporate all these other things that you've mentioned here. Like for example, we'll start from here. We have the reg offset Y needs to be incorporated into the parameters. Come here, you click on this new button, it gives the variable. The variable doesn't need any spacing. You can put an underscore, and again you cannot start with a number. So for us, you just write reg offset Y. Once you write the reg offset Y, you come to type. There are several types here. We have the length, the angle, the real number, the integer, the boolean, the text, these are more of titles, pen, line type, the field type, profile. But because we are dealing with the measurement, which is length, we put it under this one, which is length. Now give it a name and write reg offset from edge in X position. And what we are writing right now is what the users will be able to see. They can't see the variable, but they'll be able to see the name. And then give it 30. We go back, we pick leg width, again create a new one. You can, in fact, you can create several, just write. So reg width. These variables need to be names that you can remember. These are names that you can be able to remember even after working on this item today and maybe revisiting it after 1 year. So always use variables that make sense. Again, leg width is a measurement, it's a length. So it should be either that. So write reg width. And we say this 10. No, let me check it again. Is 18. We said it's 18. We go back. This is already sorted. We have leg offset X. Come here. Leg offset X. This is reg offset from edge in edge in Y in X position, and this again is 30. Go back, that is settled, reg width is settled. We need to consider this modesty offset Y. We normally call the front part of a desk as the modesty, and it's normally inset from the edge by a certain distance, which is 120 mm. I'm working with millimeters. So modesty offset Y. Come here and write modesty offset Y. You can write here modesty offset from edge in Y position, and always make this 120. come back. That one is all taken care of. Reg offset X, reg width is sorted, and you are left with this one, top width. The top part of a desk is always more thicker than the legs, so give it here, top width. Again, it's a length, so come here, top, can even write desk top width, give it 25. Go back, we need the modesty offset. This is the distance from the ground where this modesty starts. So again, we need that one. Modesty offset Y, and you can write modesty offset from base. Base is a way of talking about 0, and this is 200. Now we finished all the measurements that we need. Now we need to consider other things like what will be the materials of this desk. So again, sorry, this needs to be checked. Oh, sorry, yeah, this is modesty offset Z. So for materials, the top part of a desk can be a different material, so call it top mat. Remember, always no spacing. Top mat. A material is under surface, so click on surface, and you can write desktop surface material. Then click on this button, go to wood, and choose either of these. Then the legs, you can write reg mat. Again, it's a surface. And then reg surface material. Then click on this, click on wood, maybe choose vertical material. Apart from that, there is what we call the contour pen. The contour pen is the color we'll be using when drawing this. So again, add this. I like calling it cont pen, and this is under pen, and you can write 2D contour pen, and then choose any of these colors. I like color number 84, and that is a way of starting. Now, for us to show whatever we are doing on 2D, we need to come to 2D scripts and just put a small code here, project 2 3 272. This will make sure that whatever I draw shall be able to be seen here when you click under 2D view. So we are done with the parameters. The next thing that we need to work on is the 3D script. The 3D script is what enables us to show exactly what we are drawing. So we'll come to, you just need to click on 3D, or you can even click on this to open a new window. Once here, the first thing that we need to do is to identify the person who's making this object. And we do this under comments. To do a comment, you need to just do the exclamation mark. Then you can write, let's say, the author. This is down here. You can do another comment, date. Today is 04 December 2022. Do another comment. What you're creating an office desk. And to make this more beautiful, there's always what I like doing. I'll just come to a comment, do several dashes, and then down here do several dashes. You must start with a comment, always start with a comment, otherwise the program will treat it as a code. Once you're done with this, there is what we call elements that we'll use. You can either use a pre-theme. These ones you need to refer back to the notes that I showed you from ArchiCAD. If you read through, you'll be able to see all this. You can either use a pre-theme, you can use a block, you can use a cone, all these basic elements that we normally have. And to simplify my work, there is what we call subroutines. And you create subroutine for each and every element that you have. So I can have a subroutine for the top desk, the legs, and the modesty. And then you have to activate these subroutines. Now let me first create the subroutines. You can give them numbers, you can give them just letters or even words, but I prefer giving them numbers. So for my top of the desk, I'll use numbers. I'll give it code 100, put the columns, and finish with a return statement. Remember, you're doing coding, return statement, return, and then let people know what you're doing. So again, my dashes, dash again, and in between here again write desktop. Now this identifies that you are doing the desktop. Sorry. Okay, that's the desktop. Copy this and make this 200. This is a different thing. These are desk regs. Copy this again and give this 300 and call this desk modesty. It's always good to keep checking your code, otherwise you mess a lot. So while still here, click on check script and you can see we already have a warning. Return without go sub. The word go sub is an activation code for these subroutines that we've done. And in order to activate, we normally go up here and just write the word go sub. We'll start with 100 and then colon. You may decide to leave it like this, or like for me, I normally like putting the colon and identifying what it means. So just put there. So copy this 3 times. This becomes 200 desk legs. This is 300 desk modesty. Once you are done with writing whatever you're doing, end with an end statement. Again, we prefer putting these underscores to finish. Click on check and you can see our GDL script now says OK. Click OK. All we are left with is to fill in the data that will go to the desktop, to the return, to the legs and the modesty. Add more space here. So enter so many times so that you create more space for working. Then let's start. Let's go to 100. So our data will be between 100 and return. Put enter, and I'll be using a prism. A prism is an object that is more than 3 sides. So it can go to 5, 10, and the like. Now, when we visit our top view and we are doing the top part of the desk, you realize we have 4 corners. We can start from here. This is the first corner. Sorry. This is the first corner. We go to the next, and next. So when we describe this object in terms of prism, we'll be talking of a 4-sided object. But according to the scripting language, we need also to return to where we started. So I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 to show where we started. Now come to our scripting here. We use the word prism. This one you need to refer from the notes that are in the help area. Underscore. When you come to prism, we always first define the number of points that we have. So we have 5 points. And then you ask yourself, what is the height of this prism? What is the height or the width of this top desk? Refer to our desk and you can see this is the top part of the desk. It's the top width, and the top width corresponds to this top width. So to this variable top width. Copy this top variable and paste it here to refer to our top width, comma, and then we'll now put in the points that correspond to this. Now, for better accuracy, it's always good to have a Cartesian graph with you. So normally what I do, you need to look for the center of this desk, like that. And if you remember your Cartesian graph, let me show right. I'll give this a different code. This is green, and this one I can make it purple. Our green refers to x coordinates. Let me write it here. This is our x coordinate, while v refers to the y coordinate. Anything beyond this line to the right is positive. Anything that falls on this other side to the left hand in terms of x is negative. For y, anything that is above the green line is positive, and anything that falls below the y is negative. So we need to consider the x, y positions of each and every position that we have here. So when we start here, this point, it means this center part being our 0, 0. If you have to come here, it will be a divided by 2, because you can see we have 2 halves. And then, because it's on the negative side, it should be negative a divided by 2. When you come to the position of y, again, this is half of the desk, so it's b divided by 2. But again, this point is negative. So let's come here. We write negative a divided by 2, comma, negative b divided by 2. And then we add a third point, which is called masking. Masking is the ability to show the edge lines, to hide them, but for simplicity, I like working with 15 because 15 will always show all the lines and the edges well. So that's the first point. We go back, we are dealing with this point here. This point will be the opposite of the other. So it means our A will be positive and our B will still remain as negative. So again, it's A divided by 2 minus B divided by 2. So I can copy this. A is positive and B is negative, and then the masking. Go to that point here. When we are here, we have A divided by 2 but positive, and then B divided by 2 but positive. So come here, can copy this, don't have to keep writing. So A is positive, B is positive. Come back, we come here, we'll have A again is negative because it's on the left side, but our B is to the positive. So right, come here, copy, A is negative and then B is positive. And then we return back to our original position. Our original position was the first item here. But we need to tell the program that we finished. So we convert the 15 to -1 without a comma because that's the end of the statement. While still here, we need to define a few things. We need to define the material for this top. So the keyword for material is the exact word material. Come to parameters. We've said that our desktop will be top mat. Copy, go here, space, click, and our contour pen. This you can define on top here. We write the keyword pen, click on count pen, copy, and then click. And then you can check your scripts, you can see it's okay. And now to see the progress of your coding, click on the 3D view. And for sure, you can see we've created our top. That's the top. Now we move on to our desk legs. The beauty of using the GOSABs, the subroutines, is you can mirror items. So I'll just create one leg and then mirror. I'll create the left leg and then we mirror. Before we proceed, I've just forgotten one item. If you go through this elevation, you can see that our desktop part is raised by 750 minus the top width. So that means we have to raise our desktop part. So we need to add a height to our Z. So come here between the material and prism and do add Z. Our height to be ZZY ZX, which is corresponding to 750 minus the top width, minus this top width, so that we've raised this to the right height. The add Z, add X, add to the Y are called transformers. So anytime you add any transformer, you need to delete. You need to have a delete statement so that any code that you do after that will not distort your object. And because we've only done one add Z, you delete one. If I had two of them, I would delete two. Okay, now we go to our leg. I'll again use a prism underscore, prism underscore. Remember, our leg has 4 points also. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the end. We have 5 sides. And then we have to decide what is the height of our leg. Our leg would be the total height, which is ZZY ZX minus just the top width, that is the height of our leg. We can come here and confirm this height from here to here is just the total of 750, this one minus this. That is the ZZYZX minus top width. And that is what we have here. Comma, and then we proceed. Then we need to check on the first point of our leg, which is here. This corner here. This corner will be, again, we start with the x value. The x value is in the negative, so it's half of a divided by 2. Then we remove the leg offset, this one, from here to here to get this point. So it's minus a, come here, you write minus a divided by 2, plus, when you deal with the negative and you want to remove its add, plus the leg offset x. Let me see, yes, leg offset x. And in terms of b, it is b, half of it, but in the negative. So it's minus b divided by 2, and then again remove this distance from here to here, which is leg offset y. So minus b divided by 2 plus, and copy this, leg offset y, comma 15 for masking. Copy this, go to the next point. Next point will be again half of a. Now we remove leg offset and the width of the leg, because we are at this point. So come here. So to make it easy, put this in brackets, plus leg width, and this remains because we are still doing the same as from here to here. We come to this point. The third point here will be negative a minus the leg offset and the leg width, which is the same as the second point. So come here. So this one stands. Okay, you can copy. The first part remains. We got for the point, the y value. The y value is in the positive, but b divided by 2, and then again we remove this portion, which happens to be the leg offset y. So positive, then remove the leg offset y. We go to the fourth point. Fourth point happens to be here, the corner, this corner. It is minus a divided by 2, and then remove the leg offset. Minus a, the leg offset, and then this, the b value remains because it's the same, it's in the same position as that position. Then we copy the first point, which is our start, and it becomes our end, and convert the 15 to minus 1. Okay, we need to consider the material. Keyword is material. Go to parameters, look for the reg material, copy, come to 3D. That's it. Check whether the script is okay. Check your 3D and see. The beauty of having the subroutines is that you can be able to mirror any object that you create. We've already created a part of the leg. We need to create the right leg using mirroring. And if you check from our drawing, this line subdivides an object into two, and our leg is created along the x-axis. So our mirroring will be along the x-axis. What to use for mirroring is MUR x is for the x-axis, and a -1 to create a copy. Then copy the go sub for the leg, and if you read our notes, you realize MURX is also a transformer. So you need to delete one, and then check your script, says okay, go to 3D, and you can see our leg is already there. What we are left now with is to create the side modesty panel. Come here again. Always ask yourself, where is it starting? From the ground level. We can come to our drawing, and we said it is starting after 200. So along the y, x axis, we need to add z of this amount. So start with add z, come to the settings, modesty offset z, copy, and then add, and then create your prism, negative. Again, it will have 5 points because it's a four-sided thing. And the height would be, now we check from the total height. Total height is zzYZX. So we have to remove the modesty offset z and the top width, because that gives us the height of the modesty. So come here, ZZ, a comma here, ZZYZX minus into bracket top width, and mark Q. This kind of language does not obey the capitals, the small letters, so whatever you write will always go, but it's always good to maintain some good coding structure. For the keywords, always use capitals. So you can see I'm using prism in capitals, material in capital, to differentiate them from your own words. And then we remove the modesty offset. I'm going to put a comma here. We come to our plan. I already start the first point as this one. The first point here would be minus a divided by 2, then you remove the leg offset, and then remove the leg width. So come here, you write minus a divided by 2 plus into bracket leg offset x plus leg, need to check it out, leg width. Let me confirm whether it was offset x or y. We are removing the leg offset x, leg, which is okay, correct. To go to point B. Point B is now in the positive, that is b divided by 2, and then we remove the leg offset y. So it is b divided by 2 minus leg, can copy this, copy offset y by 15, copy this, go to the other point, which is on this side. Remember, this is on the opposite side, so we expect the a value to change to positive and the other one to remain. So come here, cancel, remove this, this will be minus, and then we go to the third point. The x value remains, but for the b value we'll have the b positive, b divided by 2 minus the modesty offset y. Modesty offset y, copy this, So this is modesty offset Y. Copy and paste here. Copy this again. Come here. We are now at the fourth point. Fourth point is minus A divided by 2 minus the 2 points. That's the leg offset and the leg width. And for B value is the same as this point. So it is leg offset minus, remember it's a minus now, plus leg offset X and leg width, and the same as this. Then copy the first point and then convert this to -1. And well, like we said, whenever you have a transformer, add Z, add X, add Y. Always at the end of the statement do a delete for that. Check your script, go to your drawing, and you can see for yourselves what we have. You can tell there's a small problem. This is thicker than it should be. So let's see where the problem is. The problem is the last 2 points, that is the third point and the fourth point. This one, the third and the fourth point, the B value is B minus the modesty offset Y. Let's see. The first point is not correct. We can check it out here. This point here, in terms of B, it was B divided by 2. You remove the leg offset and also remove the leg width. So here we need to do the leg offset plus the modesty offset plus the modesty offset. So the whole of these changes even down here. Seem to have an issue. So this changes and this changes. So the first and the second point changes. So again, come here, copy this part and paste it here. It should be good now. Good. There is our desk. You can see how easy it is. Very, very, very easy to create. Now, once this is done, we have already finished our task, what we needed to do. We need to make sure that certain things don't happen. Like, for example, if you stretch this desk right now, let's save it and put it on our plan. Let's go to the ground floor. Let me first add it up. Library, add, go to the desktop, GDL, choose, add, it's added, file, go to objects, look for GDL, this is our desk. Good. Once you have this desk, you realize, like for example, if I hold this corner and drag, I'm almost making it into a very small thing. So it doesn't even make sense. So we need to limit people from making this kind of changes. So go back to our scripting area. Now we'll work from the parameter area. So come to parameter. We'll use the keyword values. What value do you want to put a condition to? We want our value is A, and we put it under apostrophes, and then give a range. A range is a set of measurements that can have a top value and a lower value. So for our desk, we can decide that the top level, the lowest level that this desk can be 600 millimeters. So And this kind of parameter area will work with meters. So 600 millimeters is the same as 0.6 meters. Put a comma to separate these two. And the highest we can go is 1.8 meters for that desk. Select the same value. Let's go for B, which is the width. We can decide that the lowest it can go is 0.5 and the highest it can go is 0.8. And then for Z, ZZ, Y, ZX, the height should start from 0.6 all the way to 0.8. And make a change, that's saving. Go to the ground floor. Now, look now, if you try to change this desk, you realize there's a limit you can't go beyond. You can't go past that length and you can't go past that length. Now let's look at the parameters for this. Click on the settings. I want you to check on something here. Look at this area. We have this triangle. Already you can tell that the value of this, which happens to be A, it's between 600 to 1800. And that's the beauty of this parametric object. Look at this, 500 to 800, and this is 600 to 800. That's accomplished. Now we need to go back to the parameters. We need to make these parameters look organized. So under this we have materials. You can see we have the pen value and the desk settings. So normally what I do is add more of new items. Make sure this first is under this, which is title, title, title. The first title would be desk settings. Oh, sorry. Remember there's no space, so desk set, and the name is desk settings. You can write this as mat, surfaces, pen 2D. We call this 2D representation. 2D representation. Then we'll drag each of these according to the title. Like we can bring this to the top here. Leg offset is part of the desk settings, and to make it active under desk settings, you need to click on this arrow here. Click, leg width, click, leg offset, click, modesty, click, top width, click, modesty, click. Then under material, bring this material here. Click, click once, click, and then contour pen, click, and then make a saving. Go back to the floor plan, open the settings, go to custom settings. You can see exactly what I created. I created desk settings. They are here. Surfaces are here. 2D representation is here. If you want to know it's working, you can check it under 3D. Here we have our desk. The best thing about having this desk is parametric. In case maybe I want to change the value of the offset to 0. Let's see what happens. We're at 3D. Select. Let's do the leg offset as 0. You can see it has come to 0 on this side. If we do it along the Y settings, along the Y offset 0, you see. So it's easy to manipulate your object to create anything. Unlike when you do an object using the slab and the walls, it's not possible to do all these things. So this has been the best way. I'm creating objects right now and even changing almost everything that I created to this. So let's redo our 30, 30, 30, and our desk is back to where it was. Now to finish on the whole project, you need to finish on, like now you can see the 2D is there. Don't worry about this one, it doesn't matter. The 2D is there, the front view is there, the 3D is there, but the preview image, the 3D image of this is not available. So all we need is to come here. We have our desk as it is. Let me put some lights so that it comes out well. I'll do with the general writing. Let me do 34 on the height here. I'll just like working with 2000. Just 1, 2, 4. Then 3D. Come to 3D settings. For the preview picture, we always work with a square image, so I'll work with 600. I can price render save frame, go to settings, lamps are on. Let me add to 120. This one I can do 100. And then for environment, remove the sky because it gives a bluish kind of tint to our image. Then you can play with any other, but don't make any difference. Then for physical illumination, it's okay. Physical sky, everything is okay now. Options and aliasing, it's correct. So come and set up your desk nicely. Let me work with that area. Click on render. You can remove the shadows by adding more lights to the front, but it's okay. So Control A, Control C to copy. Go to where you have our scripts. Go to Preview Picture. Click and Control V to paste. Then save. Now you can see how our 2D, our front elevation, 3D, and the real picture image of that desk. And to cap it up, let's visit the page that I showed you. Let's come to Help, Documentation, GDL reference. You can add this a bit. You can see everything that I've been talking about. The add to, ML2, add X. All of these are called transformations. You can read about them. And the del, this is the delete that I've been talking about. They are called transformation stacks. And then the shapes, we've dealt with the prism. So you can read all about this or wait for another lesson that I'll be doing more of this. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for being patient for the longest time. I've not been able to produce a video, but here I am doing it and hope for more great things. Thank you. Enjoy your